What's up everybody, and thank you for joining me for another video. My name is Whack4863, but you can call me Whack. Today I want to present you with a glass cannon build, and this may be the ultimate glass cannon build because I'm actually using the Sword of Crom with this build. And I'm using it with the agility perk so that I can swing it without actually losing my stamina. However, what happens is that makes this build extremely slow. It's super powerful, but extremely slow. In my times going up against the arena champion testing this build, it took me 9 to 10 swings in order to defeat her. But you have to have good timing and be perfect. A single combo from the arena champion is going to end your fight. Now you could certainly couple this build with the sorcery because you are going to be half corrupted with this build, so you may as well use some sorcery. I'm using the mirror mark, and I really like the mirror mark except for the fact that it does make the enemies somewhat erratic. As you can see, the arena champion spun around, hit me one time, and took most of my health. Again, that is why this is a glass cannon build. You are not going to withstand a lot of attacks from any enemies. And I would definitely say don't go up against enemies that don't stagger. If you will not have time to attack and then roll out of the way before the enemy is able to attack you, this is not a good build for that type of enemy. Now, I personally don't feel like the arena champion is that difficult of a fight. However, every time I upload a video where I fight a different enemy, I get a lot of comments saying, don't fight that, go fight the arena champion. It's the hardest thing to defeat. So you've seen me fight that twice in this video and defeat her. Now, I would say this build is definitely not for beginners. This is for players who really want to challenge themselves to not get hit. This is a build where you don't want to get hit at all. You can take a couple of hits, but multiple hits in a row is going to be devastating to this build. However, if you want to run around the exiled lands and pretty much be able to one-shot everything, this is the build for you. This build is going to allow you to one-shot almost everything in the exiled lands. Now, this is a good build to run with resurrected corpses. You can run with 3 resurrected corpses with this build, and I recommend doing that over taking a thrall or a pet. Strength in numbers is important for this build because there's a lot of areas of the map that you're going to get overwhelmed, and you want the enemies to be focused on multiple targets and not just you. Because every swing you make with the Sword of Crom, you do have to roll prior to making that swing. If you don't roll prior to making that swing is going to cost all of your stamina, and just like that, you will be stuck in the middle of a damaged land. Now, I do also have the Predatory Blade with me. This is also a good item to take with you, or a short sword. Either one of those would also work well with this build in case you get into a situation where you really can't roll before swinging every single time. But even at that, like I said, this is a glass cannon build, so it is very easy for you to run out of stamina, run out of health, and end up dying before you know what's happened. So, like I said, for those of you that really want a challenge, really want to go after something fresh and new, this is a solid and possibly the ultimate glass cannon build. Now, let's jump into this build. The first thing you'll notice is that I have 20 strength corrupted. Now, you could do this build without corrupting this. However, the armor that I'm wearing is going to end up giving me that 50% corruption, so I may as well use the corrupted perks. Additionally, corrupting your strength is going to give you more damage. It's right around 70 more damage when I'm doing that heavy special downward strike with the Sword of Crom on a target. For agility, you have to get to 4 points in agility. You need that final perk, Rolling Thrust. after dodging, your next damaging attack has 25% increased penetration, and your swing costs no stamina. In order to swing the Sword of Crom without losing all your stamina, you have to have that perk. In Vitality, only went to the first point in Vitality, and that was to gain the Fierce Vitality, where I'm gaining passive health regeneration so that I can heal up in between fights without having to use foods. And then I put the last 15 points into Grit. This really was for two things. The second perk, which is Endurance, your stamina regenerates 25% faster. The other reason was to just have a larger stamina pool so that I could roll more times without completely draining my stamina. Now, the armor that I'm using is the Abyssal armor. I feel like this is good glass cannon armor because if you die, if you make a misstep, you cannot rerun that dungeon. You will be naked. So that means you are headed all the way back to your base to get a different armor or craft this armor again before you're able to get back into the fight. Now, it is a good armor. It has 1160 total armor, and it has a 69% damage reduction. This armor does not come out of your inventory. Once you make this armor on the Circle of Power, it is in your inventory until it expires or until you die. Now, it does have some of the best bonuses that are in any other armor in the game. As you can see, the helm gives me strength weapon damage of 10% and agility weapon damage of 10% as well. And then additionally, it gives me follower damage of 12%. Now, each one of these pieces, it gives me the strength weapon damage and the agility weapon damage. So the whole set is an additional 50% weapon damage for strength and agility. The chest piece additionally gives me 60 more health. The gloves give me 30 carry capacity. The leggings give me another 60 health. And the boots give me an additional 15 stamina. With this build, I am running the Elixir of Might and the Salted Pork. Both of these are going to give me a 15% increase to strength. So you can see my strength weapon damage is increased by both of those by 50%, giving me an additional 30% damage. Now, the highest damage swing I took against a target was against an unarmored target from behind, and I did a total of 948 damage in a single special swing. If we look at my stats with the Sword of Crom equipped, you can see that my damage is 322 prior to the additional bonuses from the armor, from the elixirs, and from the multiplier for that weapon type. The Sword of Crom, obviously, I have put a master weapon fitting on it, so I get health damage of 96 and armor penetration of 34%. Now remember, from our attributes, if we add the Precision Strike when carrying a medium to light load, that's 10%, and then the Rolling Thrust is actually a 25% increased penetration. So this is 35%. Add that to the 34%, and we're looking at just under 70% additional damage. It's actually 69 total armor penetration with this build. And that's it for you guys. I want to know what you think about this build, if you're going to try this build, or if you're going to leave it alone. And I'm going to say, for anybody that doesn't try this build, you might just be a chicken. It's a lot of fun. It is going to test your reflexes and your senses, but it really is a good build, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. I'd like to thank all my YouTube members for your continued support. Y'all are absolute legends. If you'd like to become a legend, there's a button that says join on this page. Click that for details. There's 2 videos on the screen. Click one of those to watch next, and I'll meet you over there.